A very good morning to all of you and welcome to another session of PIB summary. And in today's class, we will be summary from the 1st to 6th of August. Okay. Started with what important news the PIB had in. Okay. So the first news is regarding the growth of agricultural sector. According to the data of the MOSPI or the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, and this data is with respect to share of agriculture and allied sector in the economy. We see you don't need to memorize all of this data, but the having here, that is with respect to 2021-22, the share of agriculture and allied sector with respect to share of GV of agriculture and allied sector with respect to the total economy was 19%, okay. And I hope all of you understand what do you mean by this GVA, that is gross value added. It means the output minus immediate consumption, output minus immediate consumption, okay. So all of you know what is this GVA, right? Okay, so now let us go to the next news, which is regarding coal production. Ministry of Coal, according to the data that it has given, the overall coal production for the month of July 2023, it has reached 68 million tons for the month of July 2023, and this is 14.11% year on year. That is with respect to July 2022, it has shown a growth of 14.11%. Income tax returns. So income tax returns where the individuals or the people, they basically give data with respect to what was their income and what taxes they have given. They give it to the tax authorities, right? And until 31st of July, over 6.77 crores of income tax, increase of 16.1% year on year. Same period last year. And if we consider the 31st of July 2023, over or about 64.3 tax returns or income tax returns was filed. Okay. Advances in the PSBs, that is the public sector banks, are the banks which are owned by the government, or the government has a majority stake in it, majority or over 50% stake in it, bank. And recently we have shown a growth in advances, and the growth with respect to deposits was 9% in financial year 2022-23, and for advances 18.8%. Okay, the growth was 9.3%, and for advances the growth was 15.8%. Okay, of words like loans and advances. In this loans and advances, so loans basically refers to credit given for long-term financing, really known as loan, and advances are for financing. Okay, this is the major difference between loan. As of the data that we have in here, we have seen an improvement in the growth of both the deposit and advance. We will come to the GST revenue collected. There is some issue with the Give me a minute, then let me just check. So is there any audio issues continuing now, or if it is fine, can someone confirm please? Is it going fine now? Okay, okay, then let us continue with whatever we are learning. Okay, so next topic is regarding the GST revenue collected. GST revenue collected. So, I have two questions for all of you. First of all, when was this GST started? When was this GST first started? And what are the different slabs? What is the number of slabs of taxes that exists in the GST? So, can someone answer me these two questions? That when was GST first, its implementation was started, and what are the number of slabs that are existing under this GST? Yes, it was launched in, or its implementation was started in 2017, July 2017 to be precise. Very good. How many number of tax slabs exists under this GST system? Yes, very good. It is 4 slabs. So this GST, its implementation was started in 2017 and it has 4 slabs. It has 4 tax slabs of 5, 12, 18 and 28%, right? And this GST, it subsumed a lot of taxes, a lot of central and state government taxes. And another thing also which we have discussed many times as well, that GST, it basically has 3 types: the CGST, SGST and IGST. So the CGST and SGST, it is collected in a intra-state transaction. That is when the transaction is happening within the state only, and it is divided into two parts, and the central part goes to the center, the CGST, and the state part or portion, it comes to the state. In IGST, what happens? It is implemented on interstate transaction. It is implemented on interstate transaction. Okay. Yes, it is 5, 12, 18 and 20, the 4 slabs of GST. So the IGST, it is put on the interstate transactions, and then it is collected by the center, and then the center divides the share between its own self, that is the center, and the consumption state or the destination state. Okay, this is something that you should remember, that a portion of IGST goes to the consumption or the destination state. Okay, so now let us come to the news that we have in here regarding or with respect to the GST revenue collected. So the GST revenue collected for the month of July 2023 is 1,65,105 crore rupees, and of this SGST, CGST, IGST are respectively, CGST was about 29,000 crore, SGST about 37,000 crore, and IGST about 85,000 crore, and the cess that was collected was about 11,000 crore. Okay, and here also you should also know the difference between cess and surcharge. Surcharge is collected. Okay, let us say surcharge, a common surcharge is collected, and once it is collected, it can be used for anything on the basis of requirement by the government. It could be either used for education, health, or any other, for sanitation or any other thing they feel fit. But cess is collected for a particular purpose, right? Let us say this is education cess. Let us say the education cess was collected. So the cess that was collected for education will be utilized only for education and not for health or sanitation or any other reason. Similarly, specific cess is collected for specific purpose, right? So this is the difference between cess and surcharge. Okay, and the GST revenue that was collected for the month of July 2023 was 11% higher than the July 2022. A year-on-year growth of 11% was shown in this GST revenue collection, and this is for the fifth time. This is for the fifth time that the gross GST collection has crossed the 1.6 lakh crore rupees mark. Okay, this is for the fifth time that this has happened. Then let us go to the next news, that is National Program for Dairy Development. National Program for Dairy Development, and what is the purpose of this scheme? It is for providing technical and financial support for the development of this dairy industry. Okay, so this scheme, it is implemented by the Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying, right? It implements this scheme, and it was first launched, or first implementation was started in 2014, but in 2021 it was restructured and realigned to fit more to the current scenario, and for implementation from 2021-22 to 2025-26 follows this basically this restructured or realigned program or scheme. And under this realigned or restructured scheme, there are two components. That are existing. One is the component A, another is the component B. Under the component A, more focus is given on creating or strengthening of infrastructure, creating the infrastructure for quality, for maintaining the quality of the milk and other related infrastructure that is required for the development of the dairy industry, while the component B focuses more on the sale or the marketing aspect, you could say, right? So how to increase the sale of the products, of the dairy products and all of this, so that we can see an enhancement or growth in the income of the various people or the farmers who are in the dairy industry, right? And this scheme or this program is demand driven, right? And under the component A also, it Training is provided. Training is provided both under component A and component B. Under component A, the training is provided mostly on the basis or for good hygiene practices and manufacturing practices, while on component B, training is provided for clean milk production, hygiene, animal rearing, adoption of cattle feed, and all of this. Training is provided both under component A and B. And according to the 20th livestock census that came in 2019, currently 80.83 million farmer households are currently engaged in the dairy farming activities. Okay, 80.83 million farmer households according to the 20th livestock census. Okay. Next we will go to the next scheme, that is, or the next news. Okay, if you are unable to download any PDF, do one thing, you contact the administration. Okay, you contact the administration, they will guide you how to do this or how to resolve this issue. Okay, Anurag? Okay, then the next news is regarding the PM Kusum scheme. PM Kusum scheme, and what is this PM Kusum scheme? It is the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Urja Suraksha Evam Uthan Maha Abhiyan. Okay, and this was started in 2019 by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. And what was the purpose of this? The purpose was to bring energy security to farmers, and alongside that it also wanted to increase the share of non-fossil fuel in the total energy mix, So can someone tell me what is our current target with respect to what percentage of the total energy mix we want to be contributed by the non-fossil fuels or renewable energy by 2030? What is our target? What percentage of the total energy mix we want to be contributed by the non-fossil fuel or the renewable energy? We had read 5 targets under the Panchamrit Yojana, or if you have not read through my classes also, you might be aware of the same. %, okay, the target is for 50% of total energy mix by 2030 would be contributed by non-fossil fuel or renewable energy. This is our target. Now let us see this scheme and what has brought in this scheme. So currently 2.46 lakh farmers have benefited from this PM Kusum scheme. 2.46 lakh farmers, okay. And under this PM Kusum scheme, there are 3 components. One is component A, B, and C. Under the component A, what is focused on, 10 gigawatt capacity is targeted to be installed of small solar power plants with capacity up to 2 megawatt, okay, on barren and fallow land of farmers. Under component B, installation of 20 lakh stand-alone off-grid solar water pumps are targeted, and under component C, solarization of 15 lakh existing grid-connected agricultural pumps through feeder level solarization is targeted, okay. And here financial assistance is provided, right? For all the components, financial assistance is provided. Like for component A, 40 pies per megawatt hour is for kilowatt hour is provided, or rupees 6.6 lakh per megawatt per annum is provided, okay. This is for component A. And for both component B and C, the incentive or the support, financial support that is provided is in the ratio of 30, 30, 40. 30% by the center, 30% by the state, and 40% by the farmer himself. And this is for all the state, but for Northeast the ratio is different. That is, the center contributes 50%, state 30%, and the farmer contributes 20%. Okay, this is the percentage or ratio of financial assistance that is provided under this three components, that is component A, B and C. And this is also a demand driven scheme only, PM Kusum. Then we will go to the next news, that is loans from NBC FDC. NBC FDC, that is National Backward Classes Finance and Development Corporation. National Backward Classes Finance and Development Corporation, which provides financial or loan assistance to the backward classes, and this is usually for creation of, for empowering them, for social and economic empowerment of them. For example, creating self-employment opportunities. Okay, for that this is provided, or this support is provided. And what is the news here, that in last 5 years, a total of 7,37,689 beneficiaries have been able to be benefited by the loans from the NBC FDC, Okay, then we have a new visa that has been introduced by the ministry or notified by the Ministry of Home Affairs, that is Ayush visa. Ayush visa, just like visa is provided for different purpose, this is specifically for people who want some treatment with the help of the Ayush, okay, with the help of the Ayush system or medicine system. For specifically for that treatment only, if someone is visiting India, then they can get a separate Ayush visa, okay, Ayush visa. So can someone tell me what is the full form of Ayush? This is an abbreviation, right? So can someone tell me what is the full form of Ayush? These are various systems of medicines, just like you have allopathy and all of that. These are 5 different systems of medicines. So can someone tell me what are these Ayush? Okay, so the Ayush refers to Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha and homeopathy. Okay, this is what you mean by Ayush. You all have been learning Ayush or must have heard Ayush many times. So this is what we mean by Ayush. These 5 systems of medicine are covered under this Ayush system. Okay. Okay. Then we have the PLI, that is Production Linked Incentive scheme, and this is provided, this incentive is provided for incremental production. This is provided for incremental production. So let us take for example, on the basis of the past data, an industry produces 100 units of a product, of a specific product, 100 units is produced. So if there is some incremental production or sales over and above this 100 units, let us say 200 units of this product is produced, then they would be incentivized for the same. Okay, this is basically what we mean by the production linked incentive scheme, which is given for incremental production or sales, and this scheme is provided for 14 sectors, for 14 different sectors which are mentioned here. These are 14 different sectors for which this is provided, and the total outlay that has been announced for the same is 1.97 lakh crore rupees, 1.97 lakh crore rupees. And the purpose of this, you can see, is it will help attract investment, then it will ensure efficiency and also economies of scale and size in the Indian industries. Then it will also make the Indian companies more competitive globally, and it is also going to increase employment opportunities and also increase production by various industries, since it is incentivizing incremental production. Yes. Okay. Then next we have is the GEM, that is Government E-Marketplace, that is Government E-Marketplace, and this Government E-Marketplace was first started or introduced in 2016 Ministry Commerce. And what the Government E-Marketplace is meant for? It is meant for procurement. It is meant for procurement of various required goods and services by the governments and PSUs, state government, central government and PSUs. Okay, and there is also a specific target that has been given under the GEM for the MSMEs, and under this MSMEs also there is a target for the ST, SC and women. So can someone tell me what are these targets for MSME, ST, SC and women? What are the three targets that are existing? The incentive, it is different, since there are 14 different industries for which this incentive is given. It changes from industry to industry. They have their own guidelines. There is not one particular one-fit-all guideline, but it is different for all industries, all 14 industries. It is different. Okay. Okay. So can someone tell me what are these targets, or what is the mandate, rather not target, the mandate that the governments or PSUs, they need to procure at least what percentage of their total procurement from MSMEs, ST, SC and women? Yes, it is 25 for MSMEs, 25% for MSMEs, and for what is for SC, ST and women? Okay, it is 4% for SC, ST and 3% for women. Okay, this is the mandate that they need to procure at least 25% from MSMEs, and under this target only, under this target of 25% only, this other target for SC, SC 4% and for women 3% exists. Now let us see what is there in news that we have to study, that is the GEM or the Government E-Marketplace in the financial year 2023. It has achieved the highest ever gross merchandise value, right? The value of all the products that were sold of 2,01,113 crore rupees. Okay, so this is a huge value that has been achieved by the Government E-Marketplace in the financial year 2022-23, and it has also been observed that in Government E-Marketplace, whatever products and services is provided, its cost is about 9.5% lower in comparison to other markets, right? And if we see cumulatively, what is the gross merchandise value since its inception, since 2016, what is the gross merchandise value that has been achieved? It is about 4.5 lakh crore. Until, if we consider July 2023, it is about 4.5 lakh crore. And because the prices are lower on this platform, it has facilitated savings of more than 40,000 crore rupees since its inception. That is 2016. Okay. Okay, then let us go to India's exports. So the India's overall export, both the merchandise and services in 2022-23 was 776.3 billion USD or US dollars. Then let us come to the next news, that is Shri Schools. So Shri Schools is a scheme that has been developed, that is Pradhan Mantri Schools for Rising India. And this is a new centrally sponsored scheme. And basically here schools, exemplary schools would be created, which will act as a, you could say, leader in terms of schools which are aligned with the National Education Policy 2020. And under this, the government is planning of setting up more than 14,500 PM Shri schools, and not that new schools should be created, 14,500 new schools should be created, but the existing schools which are managed by the governments, various governments it is managed, they will be strengthened and aligned to this National Education Policy 2020. Okay. Then we have biomass co-firing in thermal plants. Biomass co-firing in thermal plants. So biomass, you understand, it is the plant or animal products, and these are usually, you could consider it as renewable and widely available, right? Renewable and widely available. For example, various wastes like forest wastes or even farm waste, this could be considered as biomass. And what the government is doing is basically they are doing biomass co-firing. So alongside the fossil, some biomass, a percentage of biomass is co-fired alongside that, and for that also there is a mandate that 5% of biomass co-firing should be done in the thermal power plants from financial year 24-25, and this target of 5% would be increased to 7% from the next financial year, that is 25-26. Okay, 5% from 24-25, 7% from 25-26. Okay. Okay, then we have a new mission that has been launched, that is the Pradhan Mantri PVTG mission, PVTG development mission. Okay, so before going to the mission, what this mission intends for, we should know what is this PVTG. What is this PVTG? So this PVTG refers to particularly vulnerable tribal groups. So all of you must be aware about the tribal community. Now some communities within these tribals are more deprived or socio-economically, you could say they are comparatively much more deprived, right? And they have been clubbed to this PVTG category, that is particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Currently there are 75 PVTGs and the highest is present in Odisha, and the number of PVTG in Odisha is 13. Okay, so currently there are 75 PVTGs, highest in Odisha with 13 number of PVTGs. So when this PVTG or this differentiation was started or this categorization was started, it was started by Dhaber committee. It was started by Dhaber committee who first came up with PTG. It was not earlier known as particularly vulnerable tribal groups, it was known as primitive tribal groups. Okay, and from the very beginning 75 PVTGs were not identified, lesser were identified, but over the time it has increased to 75. And this primitive tribal groups, what is the criteria for this PVTG? It is important that you remember there are 4 criteria on the basis of which this PVTG is identified. The first is very low level of literacy. Very low level of literacy, constant or dwindling population, constant or dwindling or decreasing population, then pre-agricultural technology, pre-agricultural technologies are being used, and the last is subsistence living, subsistence type of economy exists. Very low level of literacy, constant or decreasing population, pre-agricultural technology and subsistence economy. Okay, these are the 4 criteria on the basis of which this PVTG is identified, and it was first identified as primitive tribal groups by Dhaber committee. Currently there are 75, highest in Odisha with the 13 number of PVTGs. Okay, now let us see this development mission that has been brought in. So this is for the PVTGs, and what do we want to do? We want to develop them socially, economically. We want to develop them under this scheme, and it was announced in the budget 23-24. And this will, what it is going to do? It is going to provide basic facilities, various basic facilities like housing, clean drinking water, sanitation, health, education, nutrition, connectivity. All of this is going to be provided under this mission, and the total outlay, you could say, for this mission is 15,000 crore rupees, 15,000 crore rupees, and it will be implemented for the next 3 years. It will be implemented for the next 3 years. Okay. Then let us come to per capita income. Per capita income. So per capita income is what? India's total net national income divided by the total population. That will bring you to the number of per capita income, and it has increased by 35.12%. It has increased by 35.12%. If we consider from 2014-15, it has increased by 35.12% to 98,374 rupees in 2022-23. 35.12% increase to 98,374 rupees. Okay. Then we have the Study in India portal. So this new Study in India portal has been established, and what this portal consists of, it consists of comprehensive information regarding the higher education institutions within the country. So it will help the Indians certainly know what are the higher educational institutions that exist, but more importantly is for the foreigners, people who are in abroad and want to study in India. So it basically wants to attract them by letting them know what all exists in India, and also it is going to ease their registration, their application process, all of this. It is going to be much more easier, so that more foreign people are going to choose India to study abroad. Okay, that is basically the purpose of the Study in India portal. Okay, then we will come to the 3-star garbage free rating. 3-star garbage free rating. So basically various cities or cities municipal solid waste management is going to be assessed, and a rating is going to be provided to them on the basis of the management that they are doing. On the basis of that, rating is going to be provided by third party verification. Okay, and the MOHOUA, that is the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, is targeting to make 1,000 cities 3-star garbage free by October 2024. Okay, on the occasion of International Zero Waste Day, it has announced that it is targeting 1,000 cities to become 3-star garbage free by October 2024. This is something you should remember. 1,000 cities 3-star garbage free October 2024. Okay, then let us go to the next news, which is Digital Health Incentive Scheme. And this was basically implemented under the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission. Under Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission only this was implemented, and its implementation has been extended to 31st December 2023. Under this, basically incentive is given to various hospitals and organizations which are going digital on the basis of what performance they are showing, how many records are being digitized, and there are various criteria. On the basis of that, they are being given incentives. Okay, so you can see here that financial incentives up to 4 crore rupees can be got by or can be achieved by the various hospitals or organizations based on the number of digital health records that have been created and linked to the ABHA or the Ayushman Bharat Health account. Okay, and this was launched with effect from this year only, 1st January 2023. Okay, so now we will come to the news which are more important from the prelims perspective. Okay, more important from prelims perspective. So from prelims perspective, you should remember things more factually, right? More factual part needs to be remembered. So let us start. Okay, so the first is Indian Post or India Post would be selling national flag through 1.6 lakh post offices. Okay, under the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign, which would be done from the 13th to 15th August, which basically wants every single home to be physically hoisting the Indian national flag. So to ensure that every home is getting access to the Indian flag, the Indian Post or the India Post would be selling this national flag through its network of 1.6 lakh post offices. Then we have the Meri Mati Mera Desh. Okay, so this campaign, this is for honoring our retired brave heart men and women, right? The retired brave heart men and women who have given up their lives for our security. So what would be done here? Various programs would be conducted under this, and two important programs that would be conducted here is the Amrit Kalash Yatra and the Amrit Vatika. So what these two mean? Under the Amrit Kalash Yatra, what is going to be done? From 7,500 places, soil is going to be collected. Soil and saplings is going to be collected from 7,500 places all around India in different urns. This is known as the Amrit Kalash Yatra. They will be collected and brought to Delhi. Okay, they will be collected and carried to Delhi. And a Amrit Vatika would be created. Amrit Vatika near the National War Memorial would be created, where this soil that was collected, soil and saplings that were collected from all around India, they would be brought together and they would be fused, and this would be planted in this Amrit Vatika, or this Amrit Vatika would be created for the same. Okay, so Amrit Kalash Yatra, Amrit Vatika, and this would be done under this Meri Mati Mera Desh campaign. Then we have a partnership that is happening between AIIMS and IRDAI. AIIMS and IRDAI, and why are they collaborating or partnering? That is for solarizing the campus of AIIMS New Delhi. So AIIMS and IRDAI, that is Indian Renewable Energy and Development Agency, they are collaborating for solarizing AIIMS Delhi on AIIMS New Delhi campus. Then we have another MOU that is being signed. MOU that is being signed between NHPC and Alimco. NHPC and Alimco, they are signing a MOU to provide, where the NHPC is going to provide CSR support for distribution of aids and assistive devices to around 1,000 Divyangjans, okay, in the vicinity of the NHPC only, in the north and northeastern states. Okay, so here I have one question for you, that Alimco, that is the Artificial Limbs Manufacturing Corporation of India, it is a PSU who manufactures this assistive aids or devices. Okay, so can someone tell me that under which scheme this distribution of aids and assistive devices is done? There is a particular scheme, and under this scheme also there is a component under which this is distributed, this assistive aids or devices for the older people is distributed. Can someone tell me what is the name of the scheme? Okay, so there is a Rashtriya Vayoshri Yojana, right? There is a Rashtriya Vayoshri Yojana. Under this there is a component ADIP, assistance is provided for the purchase of any sort of aids and assistive devices under this scheme, under this component of Rashtriya Vayoshri Yojana. Okay. Okay. Then let us come to the next news, that is the first indigenously developed next generation MRI scanner, that is magnetic resonance imaging scanner. It has been the first indigenous development has been done of the same, the next generation, under the National Biopharma Mission. Under this private company, that is Voxel Grids Innovation Private Limited, has created this first generation or next generation MRI scanner. Then we will come to another MOU that has been signed between ISL RTC and NIOS. ISL RTC and NIOS, they have signed a MOU for creating or co-developing quality learning resources in Indian Sign Languages. Okay, in Indian Sign Languages, for that they have created or they have collaborated to create, so that deaf education could be revolutionized. Then we have some summits. So whenever we are seeing any sort of summits or meetings that is happening, it is important that you remember where it was conducted and if there is some particular theme associated with it, on basis of which this meeting was done. So the G20 Empower Summit, where was it conducted? It was conducted in Gandhinagar, Gujarat, G20 Empower meeting, and the focus of this meeting or this summit was women-led development. Then the G20 Ministerial Conference on Women Empowerment. This was inaugurated or this was conducted in the same place, that is Gandhinagar, Gujarat. Then we have another meeting, that is BRICS Health Ministers meeting. So where was it conducted? It was conducted in Durban, South Africa. In South Africa it was conducted. And what was the theme of this meeting? The theme was bridging the gap on sustainable health on the road to universal health coverage 2023. This was the theme on and around which this meeting was conducted. Then we have consultative committee meeting of Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change on 75 Ramsar sites. So where was this meeting conducted? It was in New Delhi where it was conducted, and this was to give importance or highlight the 75th year of independence and 75 wetlands that have been added to the wetlands of international importance under the Ramsar Convention. So there is a Ramsar Convention that exists, okay, you should be aware. That is a Ramsar Convention that exists, and under this wetland of international importance are listed out, and 75 wetlands of India have been or are currently in the list of this wetlands of international importance. To highlight the same, this meeting was conducted, or this one of the primary things that was highlighted in this meeting was the same. Then let us go to two events that were conducted, that is Unmesha and Utkarsh, which was conducted by Ministry of Culture in association with Sahitya Academy and Sangit Natak Academy. It was conducted in collaboration with them. Unmesha, which is International Literature Festival, and Utkarsh, which is the Festival of Folk and Tribal Performance Arts. Okay, then we have 2 days of importance here. So here, just like summits, the days also you need to remember on which day it is celebrated or observed, and if there is any sort of associated theme for the particular year. So first is Indian Organ Donation Day, which is observed on 3rd August, and the theme for the same is Step Up to Volunteer, Need More Organ Donators to Feed the Lacuna. Then we have National Handloom Day. This is observed or celebrated on August 7, and under this also there is a theme associated, which is Handlooms for Sustainable Fashion. And in this celebration that was done on the National Handlooms Day, there was a launch of Repository of Textiles and Craft. It has been developed by NIFT, National Institute of Fashion Technology, Repository of Textiles and Craft. A e-portal of the same was launched, okay, and it is celebrated on August 7, and the theme for this year is Handlooms for Sustainable Fashion. Then we have the Rajmarg Yatra app. So this has been created or launched by the NHAI, that is National Highway Authority of India, and this is a mobile application. Okay, this is a mobile application which is currently available in 2 languages of Hindi and English. And what are the key features or what information would be available through this Rajmarg Yatra app? Comprehensive highway information, complaint redressal system, fast tag services, various notification related to overspeeding, and various instructions to ensure safe driving. All of this would be provided through this Rajmarg Yatra app. Okay, then we have a patents boot camp, which was conducted basically to increase our awareness regarding the intellectual property rights, regarding the awareness and understanding of intellectual property rights. It was conducted, a boot camp was conducted by the National Institute of Science, Communication and Policy Research, okay, NISCPR, conducted the same, which is an institute under CSIR, and it is for increasing awareness and understanding with respect to the intellectual property rights. Then the first national sports university of the country, where it will be established, it will be done in the state of Manipur. It would be done or it would be inaugurated in the state of Manipur, and currently the ministry has approved about 75 sports infrastructure projects in the country. Then we have the festivals of Festival of Libraries, which was inaugurated by our President in New Delhi, and this is being organized by the Ministry of Culture, and certainly it wants to promote the development and digitization of the libraries and also encourage the culture of reading. Okay, for that this inauguration or the festival was conducted. Then we have a MOU that has been signed. So the Bureau of Indian Standards has signed a MOU with 35 institutions. It has signed MOUs for standardization, for bringing standardization and conformity assessment. Okay, so bringing standardization, that is basically the work of the BIS, that is Bureau of Indian Standards. So for that it has signed MOUs with 35 institutions. Okay, you should remember this number. In prelims you might come across a question that with how many institutions the BIS has signed MOU. So your answer would be 35 institutions. Then we have digital portal. So the Central Registrar of Cooperative Societies, a digital portal of the same has been created, and the main objective, you can certainly understand that whenever digitization is done, it enhances the availability of services and also brings in transparency and accountability in the system. So this is, you could say, primary objective, and it also enhances the ease of accessing services. So this is what would happen because of digitization, and under this, processing of application and service requests will be done in a time-bound manner, and it has also provision for OTP-based user registration. For that also it has provisions. Then we have Digital India RISCV Symposium. So this was organized by the IIT Madras and IIT Madras Pravartak Technologies Foundation. Okay, and it was organized in Chennai. And what is basically this RISV for which this symposium was conducted? It stands for Reduced Instruction Set Computer, and V refers to the fifth generation. And who organized it? IIT Madras and IIT Madras Pravartak Technologies Foundation in Chennai. And then we come to the last news for the day, that is the 132nd Durand Cup, which is for football, right? Which is for football, and this edition of this cup would be conducted in Assam, Kokrajhar, Assam. It would be conducted, and this tournament will be organized by armed forces, and it will be supported by the government of Assam, where it is going to be conducted or organized. Okay, so with this we come to an end of today's session, and we are going to meet soon to cover the rest 5 days of the first 10 days, that is from 7th to 10th of August we will be conducting, and we will be covering that part in another class. So I hope all of you have a very good day. Thank you.